So, do you like Hong Kong horror and just bizarre horror movies, like stuff that's just like, what? Well, I got some movies that just released on Vinegar Syndrome that we're gonna do a review of for both of them and all the ingredients. So buckle up, let's get into it. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a spoiler-free review and an unboxing of Vinegar Syndrome's new release of Devil Fetus and Her Vengeance. Both of these are Hong Kong Category 3 horror movies. Now, I'm also going to try to do this in one shot because I really don't have time to edit, and I want to get content out to you guys to let you know what's out. And I figured this would be a good release to get out because I feel like there's enough people that know about it, but I don't think it's like one of those releases that everyone's going to know about it, and you really should. The main show for me here is Devil Fetus. I actually bought this previous on like a boot because I didn't have much, and as you can see, it's really, that's all you could get it as. And I am finally here to say I own it on Blu-ray, and it is a fine day indeed because holy crap, does this look amazing in Blu-ray. Like, this is the first time this has been on Blu-ray, and this is the first time this has been on Blu-ray. They are getting another release by 88 Films here separately, so like each individual film is getting a release, and those are in Region B. Now, 88 Films I really like too, but we're going to be focusing on the Devil Fetus today and what Vinegar Syndrome has to offer and what I thought of these movies and why you should check them out too if you like bizarre films, because these ones are pretty good. And I'm going to give you a breakdown of all the little things, everything in it that I liked, and kind of an overview of what I thought of the movie and kind of a score for each of them, because I really think people should know more about these. I've become super obsessed with like Hong Kong horror movies for a very long time, and I really want to do a big list. I've actually started a list that I'm going to be doing with you guys. These typically don't get many views, so I hope this might spark some interest. I feel like showing you guys stuff that is, you know, so underground, YouTube isn't talking about it, then they just bury my videos. So I need your guys' help to share these videos and let people know about them, because otherwise they're just going to bury all my videos all the time unless I want to talk about, you know, the exact thing that's popping off right now that everybody wants to talk about. I don't know how it works, but we're going to talk about Devil Fetus anyway because this is what I love and I'm passionate about it. This is a movie that is from Golden Harvest and Fortune Star. That's what it was. Fortune Star actually put this out afterwards, but it was a Golden Harvest release. Came out in 1983, and it is about a woman that is possessed and dies after a monster is released from an antique vase that she wins at an auction. She gets like super addicted to wanting to win it all of a sudden, and it's like a phallic item in a way. It's like a Tibetan sex sort of vase that's honoring a Tibetan sex god, or demon rather. It's reawakened when she gets it, and it possesses her and then like her boyfriend, and they both end up dying. She gets impregnated, has a devil fetus inside of her that they put like spells on to try to prevent from escaping. And 12 years later, the demon is back trying to possess one of the nephews, the kids that grew up years later. And a bunch of crazy, and we're talking extremely bizarre things happen in this movie. Now, this is by director Lau Hun Chun, who started off as a really great cinematographer for a lot of like really great films. This became his first feature film, and he does a lot for very little in this movie. It is pretty amazing what he's done. This is mainly kind of like a spook house movie. It's a possession movie. It's a you know, haunted house movie. At the time in the US, which a lot of companies and a lot of these movie making companies outside of the US were mimicking and sort of exploiting the big popular stuff in the US to try to make their own. And oftentimes these turned into very different films than what they actually were trying to mimic. Sometimes they were very close, sometimes they weren't, but you'll see elements of stuff in here that may be similar, but not at all the same. This one is, I would say, like a counterpart of like Poltergeist and maybe Amityville. So if you've seen those movies, there's other movies that they try to mimic in here a little bit too. A lot of different styles. I saw some like Italian horror soundtracks in here. Like there was some stuff from the 80s that you would have heard in like a Italian film, and they really kind of mimic that score sound, which actually sounds really cool to me. This was actually a movie that was made in Taiwan. It had almost an entire Hong Kong crew, and it even has some Taiwanese actors and actresses who were popular at the time. So this movie carries a lot of like special effects and heavy on the practical effects and heavy on the absolutely fucking bizarre. Just to give you an idea of some of the stuff that you're going to see in this movie, Devil Fetus has Tibetan demon sex, or actually assault, I should say, face ripping, akin to Poltergeist in a way, worm cake, worm vomit, demonic dogs, dog disembowelings, entrail eating, possessions aplenty, corpse eating, a magic sword, laser eyes, eagle sacrifice. I mean, there's just so much in this. There's mommy maulings, sauna smashing. That is the most bizarre death I think I've seen. It's amazing to watch. It's like, I don't want to spoil it for you. You just got to see this sauna killing. And then there's flying family members. There's people flying around the house all the time. The end of this movie is just so bizarre. It just goes off the rails and just goes bananas. This is one, when I was looking for this, I had seen another movie by the name of The Boxer's Omen, which we'll talk about in the future. I've talked about on this show because I just love bizarre movies, and Hong Kong had some really crazy stuff that was just exploitative and really bizarre. So this is a good one. There are a couple of things in the movie that deal with sexual assault, but it's not like the type that is just so bad. It's like they just show like it about to happen and then it cuts away. They don't really get into it that much. They sort of focus on the entertainment value in this one rather than just that, which some movies they can get pretty horrific. And the next movie might actually have has a lot more of that than this one. So you're pretty safe with this one, to be honest with you. It's the most beautiful fucking print I've seen of the movie, and I am blown away. I've never seen the colors and everything like I have on this release, and I think that you should check it out if you are a fan of this kind of stuff. Now, if I had to give this a score, I would probably give this an 8.5 on the bizarre scale. It's definitely really freaking weird. I think it's tame enough for those who don't like that stuff in it, so, you know, just be aware it's slightly in there, but yeah, I think this is pretty good, man. I really like bizarre stuff. It's not the most bizarre, but I got a list that I'm working on, guys, that I think that you'll really like. I'm going to talk about the next one, which I have not seen, and that is Her Vengeance. And then we'll get into the unboxing, all the ingredients and everything at the very end. That way I can get this out of the way and you can skip ahead if you want to check out the ingredients. Now, Her Vengeance is a movie by Nai Choi Lam, who, if you remember, is the guy that did The Story of Ricky, The Cat, and just a ton of really crazy films that I think are fantastic. He also did The Peacock King and quite a few others. He's a fantastic, underrated director that I think everybody should get into. This is a movie from 1988. It's about a woman who seeks revenge on her attackers. And yeah, the attackers in this get to her pretty quickly early on in the film. It is not that bad. Like, I thought there was going to be like full frontal nudity or something like that with her. There wasn't. You just see the like attackers' faces and the things that they say, which is gross, but it's not like as disgusting as something you might be expecting. But this one is pretty wild. There's some familiar faces that are in this movie that she teams up with to get to kill these guys, because basically what happens in the story is she is a person that works at a club, and they're doing sort of a Paris dancing club where it's like almost like Vegas, and they go in and there's some girls like kicking their legs up and stuff. And these guys come in and just start acting the fool immediately. And they tell them that they need to calm down and honor the rules and stuff like that. And they don't take it too kindly. So they actually wait till she gets off of work and she's walking home to follow her home. And yeah, she of course survives it. And this is in another place, by the way. They call it Macau, which is a different area than Hong Kong, and she has to go find them and single them out to kill them one by one. But she teams up with her sister's ex-husband or boyfriend or whatever that split up. He's in a wheelchair, I think I'm right, because of these same guys. And she was mad at them, and obviously now she wants to team up with him to stop them. Now, at first, he's not too keen on the idea, but then he jumps on board pretty quickly and even uses his wheelchair to attack these people. There is a lot of bizarre stuff that happens in this movie, and there's a lot of graphic practical effects and like silly stuff that happened in this film, but it's taken pretty seriously for the most part. There is a ton of stuff in here that I'm going to tell you about because I think it'll help kind of paint the picture of like what is in this movie, because there is just a lot. She's going through each of these guys one by one. Obviously, there's some problems along the way, and you know, friends and people get caught in the crossfire. They have a lot of like penile chomping in the very beginning, wheelchair martial arts. I'm not kidding, it's pretty fantastic. Scissor stabbing, ear clipping, durian fruit doming, you know, those spiky green fruits. Yeah, that gets used. Blind balcony blunder. We get acid burning, throat razoring, fish hook facials, hot oil baths, pepper facials, and I mean peppers as in red peppers, pipe impalings, Vulcan throat grip of death, and a head kebab. So there's plenty to see in this movie throughout the film that I think will definitely delight you in the bizarre. Is this as bizarre as Devil Fetus? No. Much more straight-laced, even for Nai Choi Lam, to be honest with you, but still highly enjoyable. I think this is like a 7 out of 10 on the overall general entertainment value for the most part, and about a 6.5 or a 7 on the bizarre. So I would probably say 6.5, but it's still notable because there's a lot of stuff that happens in this movie that I think you'll enjoy. Overall, this release is pretty fantastic. I'm going to give you kind of a breakdown of it so that you can kind of see what's inside. Obviously, you get the reversible cover art, which is basically the same thing as this. And then the back is the same as that, okay? So you're not really missing anything on it. I'm keeping it on the Devil Fetus because, yeah, it's basically a Devil Fetus movie collection for me. Even though it has another one in it, I'll always know that this other one exists in the back of it. I'm going to show you some of the stuff that's in the extras, and I'm going to record this separately so that you guys can kind of follow along and see what I'm talking about. Devil Fetus is one of the ones. There we go. You get some of these pictures. They don't like to let you blow them up, I guess. There we go. We'll just go through some of the pictures to kind of let you know what's going on in here. If I have to blur something out, this is all the Devil Fetus. You can imagine just how bizarre this movie is. Her Vengeance. We also have some of this other stuff here. There's that wheelchair stuff I was talking about. Dude rides a fucking top of the building in a wheelchair. Super cool. There's those pipes I was talking about, the death grip. Yeah, there's just a lot of like really crazy stuff. Now that I watch some of those pictures, it kind of shows you. Now, to give you an idea, it's a 2-disc Region A Blu-ray set, newly color graded and restored by Vinegar Syndrome. I give it a really great job, man. Like, this is fantastic. if you are a fan of these movies, highly recommend. Commentary track for Her Vengeance with Bruce Holchek, Cinema Arcana, Art Ettinger from Ultraviolet Magazine, and Ryan Smith. Dreamhaven Books, we also get a commentary track with Devil Fetus, film writer Travis Woods. Eagle, Blood, and Pig Guts, it's a 12-minute interview with Su Mang Kwang on Devil Fetus. He's the nephew in the movie that gets possessed. Not really a spoiler. One of the many people, I should say. Does a really good interview, by the way, and I really enjoyed it. I wish there was more. That's the only downside I would say to this. There's also Her Vengeance in 4 Cuts, a 7-minute video essay written and narrated by John Charles. We also have Her Vengeance Category 3 Our Revenge Film, which is 11 minutes, video SSA by author film historian Sam Dagan. Original trailers for both films, and actually all the extras are on the Devil Fetus disc for some reason, except for the commentary tracks, which are on each of the respective discs. Also on the Her Vengeance, they have the Category 3 version and then the Category 2B, which is a step down. So anything that might be for a young adult, they cut out and put in that version. So if you want to watch either one of those, you can. Also promotional image gallery for Devil Fetus, courtesy of Ryan Smith. Alternate Crime Doesn't Pay ending for Her Vengeance. 20-page booklet with an essay by John Charles, the reversible sleeve, and the newly translated English subtitles, which, let me tell you, is a blessing. Okay, it's a really blessing because these were, not well taken care of on that end. Now, there is other languages. There's the Cantonese version, the Taiwanese version on many of these. I just watched the regular one with the subtitles. There is an English mono on Devil Fetus. Terrible sounding. I mean, not just in acting, but like the sound quality is just not there. So I would highly recommend watching the subtitle version. This one doesn't have an English subtitle, or dub track, I should say. It has just the subtitles with this. So that's basically it for the whole set here. Vinegar Syndrome. Hell yeah, dude. Loving this set. I really want to get the other one. They had another one that they did previous to this, which was The Seventh Curse. And it's another movie, The Witch from Nepal, which I've never seen. I heard it's okay. But I'm going to pick that up hopefully soon. I'm just waiting to see if I have enough money to be able to do that. But yeah, I definitely want to do more Hong Kong stuff, or, just weird, bizarre stuff. So if you like it, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for coming by. I hope, you check out the other videos because the algorithm's been hitting me hard, guys. So I appreciate your support. We're almost at 10K, so I'm really excited about that. That's taken a lot of work and a lot of effort, and a lot of you guys that are kick ass. So I appreciate you guys. So thanks for coming by. And as always, long live the void.